welcome to the show that never... Oh, I'm not good, guys. I'm sorry. I thought I could rap. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm doing the chorus now. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Go sleepy dirt, go sleepy dirt, go sleepy dirt, go sleepy dirt. Oh, those skills are sick. Super sick. Anyways, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I am, of course, Killen, along with Dirt, and we together are the Video Game Losers at VideoGameLosers.com, a part of the Pop Culture Network. We're here this week to discuss the latest and greatest in all video game news, talk about a few releases, and then move on to retro game review and possibly your fan questions. So take it away, Sleepy Dirt. This is the part where you take it over so I don't look stupid on the internet. He's got nothing.
K-Fed, what?
That's how my morning's started.
What's going on?
I don't know. We're doing a show.
Did we do it?
We're doing a show.
Oh, crap. What did I miss? Is it over?
There was this guy.
Really?
Didn't even come into the frame. But go ahead.
Oh, so what are we up to now? Do the intro. Say, welcome everybody to Video Game Losers Show.
We already did that.
Oh, you already did that part? Oh. What about the news? Did you do the news yet?
No, I thought I'd let you do that.
Okay, great.
That's your thing, you know.
I can do the news. Maybe I'll do it K-Fed style and rap. I don't know why that stuck in my head. Like someone was doing weird stuff like that. I don't know. All right, well,
don't tell people that.
Let's talk about some neat things happening in the world of gaming. First up, news coming out of PlayStation 3 land is that DC Universe Online, the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, is played majority on the PlayStation 3, not on PC. It is a free-to-play game, and let's see, if you had to guess, what would you guess weighted? Like, how many people would play it on PC and how many people would play it on a console? What would you think the percentage breakdown would be? I think
right now, and I only say it for this game, because a lot of people actually bought the game when it released, not knowing it was an online game, and then going,
oh, well, no,
well, then I got to play it.
It wasn't free to play
right
at the beginning.
Right. But what I'm saying is, all those people who bought that game got really upset and realized they had to play it online and like, instead of like just throwing it away, you're like, well, I guess I'm going to start playing this game. And that's why there's probably more console users.
It's also free to download on the console if you go to the PlayStation Store. You can download it at no charge. But what do you think the breakdown would be? Like percentage-wise?
50-50?
50-50?
Sure.
Okay, and I said there's a majority playing on the PlayStation 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
51-49?
51-49.
Okay, that's
obviously.
Actually, it's 70-30. 70% of the players are actually coming from the PlayStation 3, which they're using as a way to show how these types of games would actually find a market if they were on home consoles as opposed to only being on PC. That's where they traditionally are.
Maybe. If they're free.
Also, the title Free Realms has come to PlayStation 3.
Is that free?
Yeah, set up the same way.
Awkward.
And then there is a game coming out called Dust 514 that will also be set up using the same model. So, and the players can interact. So if you're on the console or on the PC, you can talk to each other. So that is also bringing a lot of people to it. Also, in PlayStation 3 news, the Game Genie is returning to the PS3. This time not from Galoob, this is coming from Hyperkin. And Hyperkin says that the cheat device will actually plug into the USB drive. It will allow you to transfer over your game saves. You take them to your PC, use their software to modify the game saves, which you can then take back to your PlayStation 3 and update your game files on PlayStation 3, which will give you the things like, you know, unlimited money, unlimited health, unlimited ammo. Now, they say that they will only allow for codes that work in offline single-player mode. Anything that would affect multiplayer, they're not going to allow. They will police the system and keep those from getting out there.
Because they, in fact, have morals.
Now, how successful...
cheating back.
I mean, what's going to stop someone who figures out, you know, how to hack one of those codes from just sharing it on their own website, you know, whatever, putting it out there?
Who cares?
Once it goes on 4chan,
hey,
how
look,
are you going to be able to stop it? But
I loved Game Genie back in the day. That was my jam. Okay. Sometimes playing a game with unlimited health and stuff like that is more fun than just playing the game.
Like I want to put in like Arkham Asylum or Arkham City and just put it like God mode.
Yeah.
You don't take any damage at all because I'm a goddamn Batman.
Sometimes it makes the games like a lot more fun for me. I mean, I always loved the Game Genie. I just play them up, load them up with incredible. See, the thing is, I like to play games and like try to break the system somehow. Like do things you shouldn't have been able to do. That's my thing. I like that.
You're a hacker.
No, I don't want to hack.
That is hacking.
Like, if it's an open world environment, I want to climb to the weirdest mountain in the very far corner. I want to see how high I can get up on there, just because.
Yeah, well, that's what a hacker is, basically.
Well, then call me a hacker and give me my
You're thinking of a cracker. The cracker is a guy.
That's me.
That is you as well.
I'm a cracker.
But he's a guy who's actually breaking software.
I've been called that a few times. Whatever.
Yeah, especially. Have you seen the trade-in prices lately? All right. Next up, OnLive gaming system, which allows you to play PC games basically on your TV over your broadband connection, now says that they will update the software for their controller to allow it to work with the Nexus 7 tablet from Google. So they're going to turn your Google tablet into a gaming machine.
Wow.
That's their plan.
Who cares?
They said it's not working yet, but they hope to make it happen soon. Let's see. Star Wars The Old Republic executive producer has left BioWare, and BioWare has indeed started laying off employees. So Star Wars The Old Republic looks like it's hitting some scary ground here. Of course, Star Wars Galaxies, the long-running MMORPG, was shut down at the launch of Star Wars The Old Republic, and now it looks like Star Wars The Old Republic just isn't doing that well. So we'll just have to wait and see what, I don't know.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, when the executive producer leaves and the studio starts letting people go,
that's the boss. Who's the boss now? If the executive producer is the boss, who's the boss now?
Well, I mean, he's the executive producer. What about the emperor producer or the king producer? The captain.
Because I don't know about
producer.
you, but if the boss quits, it's probably not good.
That means that's keg day. That's
like,
keg day.
It's like, I don't know if we're going to have a job much longer.
All right, one of these stories coming out of Comic-Con is that Deadpool will be getting his own video game. Set for 2013, coming out of High Moon Studios. It's actually being written by Daniel Way, the guy who writes the Deadpool comic book, which is fantastic, by the way.
Oh, please, open world environment.
So basically, this game in the works. I mean, just not really a whole lot of details right now, other than the fact that he is getting his own game, probably set up similar to a lot of the Spider-Man games and stuff like that.
Dude, I feel it's more like a Grand Theft Auto, where you just go around and just do ridiculous stuff.
Well, they call it an action game. So, not a they don't call it sandbox, but I mean, you never know how
I want it to be completely open world. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Good luck on that.
Fun.
All right, next up, if you're a fan of Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch,
of course,
and
it's my jam.
Who wouldn't be on PlayStation 3? Well, right now, the producers of the game are starting what they're calling the Nino Starter, much like Kickstarter. If you go to the Neo no Kuni website and pre-order the game, you will get some bonuses. But kind of like using the Kickstarter model with their Nino Starter, the more people that pre-order, the more extra stuff they'll add into the game. So right now you're going to get a spell book, a 100-page like spell companion book, shows all the spells that are in there, and you can pretend like you're actually reading your spell book. Doing
super Harry Potter-ish.
They talked about extra things like extra downloadable content, a plush doll, special collector's box, all sorts of different special things you might possibly get if you and everybody you know jumps on that Nino Starter and pre-orders the game.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Have you done it?
Not yet.
It's only $59.95.
Oh my gosh.
With a release date of January 22nd, 2013.
How do they know that's going to be the release date if they don't know if they got people to...
Well, that's when the game will come out. The game will be ready to come out, then it's just whatever extra stuff might be in the box.
Oh, that's a scam.
Also in Kickstarter news, there's a new Kickstarter-like website now just for games. This one is called Games Planet Lab. And
the name's not catchy like Kickstarter.
I know, Kickstarter jumps in a little bit, but you know, whatever. Basically, GameStarter Lab or Games Planet Lab is going to be based all over the world. Right now, Kickstarter is U.S. based. It only uses U.S. currency. A lot of times, you have to sign up with a U.S. account, and then you pay extra whatever if you're going to be international shipping and stuff like that. But everything's based over U.S. Games Planet Lab is actually going to be set up worldwide. A lot of European users happy about that because they can finally get in on a lot of the fun. So there you go. Take a look at that good stuff. Other Kickstarter news is last week we talked about the Ouya game console, the $99 game console. Oh. Well, they have their first exclusive game announced. This game is it's a prequel to Human Element. Human Element is a big budget game that's going to be hitting a bunch of the big consoles. So they're going to work on a prequel of the game that gives you a bunch of backstory and whatever. And that one will be exclusive to the Ouya, which means that when the actual game comes out in 2015, the big release, they're looking to also release it on the Ouya system. So, there you go. The man behind the game actually said that he donated $10,000 to the Ouya project on their Kickstarter page.
I don't even know if that's a lot if you're the guy who created a game. Like, is that really a lot? If you're a multi-millionaire and you gave $10,000?
Well, he does work for Activision, and some of the money came from the money he's getting from Activision for his big console game. So in a way, people are saying, well, it looks like Activision is helping to fund the Ouya. In other Ouya news, there's lots of news coming up.
Oh, give it to me.
Ouya. Let's see here. One of the developers from Amazon's internal labs is joining the Ouya console, overseeing production. He oversaw the production of many of the Kindles and the Kindle line, the e-readers, the Touch and the Fire and things like that.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it? Really?
Never
the
heard
Kindle?
of it. Never heard
kind
of
of a big thing.
First time I'm hearing about it.
Really? Wow. They have this thing called the Internet that people use. You should get on it sometime.
What the hell is the Internet?
Let's see. So basically, he is making sure that development sticks closely to the Android software development kit. So people familiar with that will have no problems jumping on board with the Ouya. He's also working to hire some engineers. He knows Android pretty well inside and out. Obviously, Android is the basis for the Kindle, so that kind of helps with all of that. So he's helping to bring in engineers, developers, and getting everybody up and running on the software development kit. So that's actually a pretty smart move on their part. Now, you might be thinking,
I am.
If you bring a guy from Amazon over to help you on this project, you're going to need some money for that. Now, they had originally wanted $950,000 from the Kickstarter community.
Right.
How much, I mean, what would you call a pretty good landmark amount of money to get? Like, they wanted $950,000, they get $1 million, pretty good. $2.5 million, you think that'd be pretty good? If they could raise that much?
Sure.
I mean,
what were you asking me?
How much money do you think they would have to raise in order to grab a guy from Amazon and hire him to come on to the company and help with development? How much money would they need from Kickstarter, you think, until they're comfortable to hire somebody like that to come in and work on the project?
I don't know. I'm sure he would get a couple $100,000.
A couple $100,000?
Yeah, for sure.
So if they raise like $3 million, that might be enough for them to be like, yeah, we're cool with that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, as of right now, they've raised $5,195,095.
Wow. I wonder if that's like a record or something.
And as the time of this recording, there's still 20 days to go. Now, at the time you're watching this, it'll be like 17 days, whatever. But still, over $5 million for what they wanted roughly $1 million for. So this is going to be, this console is going to get a lot of bells and whistles and a lot of high-thinking people behind the scenes pressing the stuff out. So,
did you get one?
You know, I haven't because...
You got 20 days.
Well, they've announced that they're actually going to put this retail. It'll be available online, so you'll be able to buy it from online retailers. But they're also going to try to put it in actual physical stores, so that you will be able to walk into someplace like a Best Buy or wherever and pick one up.
Like a Killing Enterprises.
So I'm kind of holding off a little bit to see if it's going to be a dramatic price increase, like it's going to be $149 buying it retail versus online, you know, buying it through Kickstarter or whatever.
Well, how are you going to know that? You're going to have
I'm watching the news come out. They're still working on it. I got 20 days. I got plenty of time.
They're going to run out of
I can go back with 1 day left and do it. Like, you know, who cares?
No, because all you're going to have left is the $1 thank you pledge.
I don't know. They've got
It's like they're limited.
Oh, actually they are running low. Wow.
Yeah.
They've sold out. They've already sold 1,000 at $95. Then they put 80,000 at $99. They've already sold 33,841 of them. Oh man, I'm just afraid of when they're going to charge me the $99. You know what I mean? You know how I am with money.
At the end of the 20 days.
Yeah. Well, in 20 days from now, am I going to have $99? You know how I am.
I
might see a chicken sandwich and a steak dinner between now and then.
Ask your dad if you can use his credit card.
Hey, Daddy Killing, can I borrow your credit card?
Oh, for sure. You gotta do what I like, though. You know what I want.
Oh, I'm out. Alright, well.
What else?
The War Z is what they're calling a new massive multiplayer online game about the zombie apocalypse.
Whoa.
So think about a giant sandbox.
That sounds like Max Brooks' World War Z.
This one is just called The War Z.
Oh, that's scandalous.
That
is a snatch of the name.
They said, if the War Z name sounds familiar, it might be because you're thinking of Paramount's World War Z property that we've talked about before. But according to them, the two projects are unrelated, save that they have similar names and they're similar projects.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. But this one is a quest-based MMO set in a large zombie-infested world. So as you're running around trying to complete different missions, trying to find, you know, medicines, trying to find certain things, there are other people playing the game also trying to get stuff. So
that's kind of interesting.
So you're going to be like running through the zombie crowd trying to get to this pharmacy to get pills, and suddenly some other group is going to come running out of nowhere and pop you in the head and grab them, and then you're going to be like, ah.
I don't know how that works for. So is it RPG MMO?
It will have huge open world player versus player and the ability to support 250 players per server.
So it's more like a Battlefield type game, where you're straight out just duking it out. See, I would thought it was going to be like a MMORPG, which I thought would be a very interesting concept.
Well, how would you see the RPG playing out differently from just being the...
Because that one will be a fast-paced action. You just go ahead and, you know, shoot, and there's probably timed matches and, you know, limits. Whereas an MMORPG would constantly go nonstop.
Well, right now it's currently undergoing internal alpha testing. They will be doing closed beta later this summer, and they hope that the final game will be out before the end of the year. So probably the Tuesday after Christmas will be available. All the kids with Christmas money can go out and buy them. All the sad kids that didn't get an Ouya under their tree can go out and grab one of these. Finally, some Xbox news. Microsoft, they had a record-making $18 billion quarter.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Xbox is the top-selling console for 18 months running. Ever since they did the Slim, they pretty much had control of the market. But even with $18 billion profit for the quarter, they lost $492 million.
That's mismanagement.
Actually, that's Windows 8 development, because Windows 8 will be launching in October. So they were getting Windows 8 ready, and they're paying a lot of upfront costs of processing and producing and whatever.
I still think Windows 8 is too soon.
I agree with that.
That's just too soon.
And I don't like the Metro interface.
Because a lot of people are just now getting, like, oh, Windows 7. It's like, Windows 8?
There are still a lot of people who walk into this store with desktop computers running XP. Laptops running XP.
Yeah.
So
today. So
the idea of Windows 7 to them is still like, oh, I don't have the big money for something like that. You know.
And literally, Windows 7 just came out. I mean, that's only been like maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I think 2 years.
That's kind of fast.
Windows 8, for the most part, I downloaded the developers preview thing and installed it. It's all right, but honestly, if I wasn't using a touchscreen device, I would not use it. Because everything it adds is touchscreen. You can get rid of the touchscreen stuff and go back to the desktop, and then it's Windows 7. Everything they've added to the OS is all built around that touchscreen, and if you don't have one, you can use your mouse and click and whatever, but it's all putting the stuff to the side that you can drag over and drag down.
So it's like XP, going from XP to Media Center XP.
It's like, do you remember when they added the active desktop to Windows 98? You could have like the Internet Explorer web page as like your background. Like, that's what it feels like. That's what the update to Windows 8 feels like. It's like when you got Internet Explorer 4, and you were like, woo! Windows 98. That's how exciting it is. Let's see. Microsoft, they had a spring update. When the spring update came out, it allowed them to put basically a backdoor to put in security updates automatically. People are now finding out. And basically, they've just said that they've been working behind the scenes trying to strengthen security. There have been some more hacks. They build problems with FIFA, Windows Live ID, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, there's another one. There's a community blog post coming from Microsoft saying that you need to go and type in your passwords to check the strength of them to make sure that they're strong enough, because they're seeing more and more people trying to hack the system using new techniques, new codes, and simple passwords that are all letters obviously aren't enough anymore. Ones that are just letters and numbers are starting to not be enough anymore. Now you're going to start looking at things like punctuation and capitalization in order to differentiate your passwords. 3
random words. That's still slated as being the hardest to break. 3 non-related random words.
No, because that's all letters.
No. Security conference was held and they said that...
Well, Microsoft says that's not enough.
So, Sonic, oranges, and camel toe.
Wait, isn't camel toe 2 words?
It's maybe.
How about orange camel toe?
That would be a very hard to break password.
How about hairy sphincter diarrhea?
They say it's harder.
Oh, those are related.
It's harder to break it than doing a random 125 cipher. Random 125 characters. That's what they say.
Well, all right. Several weeks ago, we talked about the video game Fez. They had released a patch to fix certain problems like infinite death loops and crashes of the game. Unfortunately, the patch started to cause people's save files to disappear, become corrupted, things like that. So the patch was pulled from the online service, so they said they would try to fix it. Well, now they've said they're not going to fix the patch. The patch is going back out. If you lose your save, sucks to be you. They will not be doing anything to fix that problem. They said, here's the reason why. It's basically Microsoft's Xbox Live Arcade service. They charge huge fees to developers every time they release an update. Even if it's a free update going out to users like a patch for security and stability, Microsoft still charges the company to push that patch out there. They said it will cost them literally tens of thousands of dollars to make a new patch, because Microsoft will charge them for testing of the patch, further testing, even though they didn't catch this problem in the last patch. They will still charge them tens of thousands of dollars for testing and releasing a new patch. So they just said, we can't afford that because Xbox Arcade sucks. So they're just going to release the patch back into the wild. If it happens to you, it sucks. The game is exclusive to Xbox Live Arcade for now. They said pretty soon that's going to expire, the deal that they have. They'll be bringing the game to Steam, and once it's on Steam, every patch and every update you will ever need will be given to you as soon as it's possible, free of charge, through Steam. Xbox Live Arcade sucks.
Microsoft, record quarter, $18-some billion. So yeah, there you go. That's why.
So apparently they made $17 billion just off these guys.
Thieves
and scandals.
Developing Windows early too.
All right. That's going to wrap it up for game news. You've got like 6 releases, so why don't you cover releases here?
Hey, look, don't tell me how to do my job.
Hey,
okay,
why don't you do your job?
So let me tell you.
Ever.
Face. So, let's see. This week, I can't see you. There is a bunch of, there's thousands of games releasing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's only like 4. So, I'm just going to go through the list real quick. There's nothing that you would even maybe recognize in this list. Let's see, like, such titles like, oh, on the DS, we're getting a game called the Tofu Collection, which is just a little action platformer game using the character Tofu, which I'm not familiar with. Maybe you are. But, oh, great. There's a new Jewel Master game, The Cradle of Persia, coming out to the DS. You know what that game is. You've been there a million times. Releasing for the 360 and the PS3, we are getting, though, Adidas Me Coach, which is a game using the PlayStation 3 Move and the 360 Kinect, kind of like a Wii Fit type game. I'm sure you were just excited about that. Finally, for the PC, Prototype 2 is now being released. I don't know why it took forever.
Ooh, on the PC.
Probably some deal with Microsoft, but now it's available. And that's about, really, that's about it. What do you want from me? There's a PC game, role-playing game called Rusty Hearts Reborn, an action RPG.
That's my favorite.
I'm actually reaching for titles right now. So.
That's my favorite game ever.
Oh, there's a game called Legends of Pegasus on the PC, which is a simulation game using, of course, the Pegasus.
Oh, stupid. Go away.
I'm actually...
Go away.
Really. This is what... look. I sat here quietly when you did yours.
Yeah.
And that's it for the game releases this 3rd week of July? Question mark? 3rd week of July.
4th week of July? Yeah, like it matters. All right. Let's talk about some of the...
Correction, the 4th week of July.
Questions and stuff for the fan corner here. First up from Blur412. He says, Dear guys, I only have a PlayStation 2 and a PC. I play Far Cry 2 at the moment. Can you think of any other good games, PlayStation 2 and PC, that maybe he needs to check out?
Far Cry 3.
PlayStation 2. They only made like what, 5 games for the PlayStation 2? Like, there's only a handful of titles. It's like the Sega Saturn.
Well, if you like Far Cry, try the game Black for the PS2. BLACK.
That was a big shooter, wasn't it?
It was a shooter. It was real fun, too.
That's the one that had all the empty casings on the cover?
Mm-hmm. It's called Black. It's a really fun shooting game. It's not the longest game in the world, but it is probably one of the best shooters that they developed. It is towards the end of the line. What do you like?
Well, listen. If you like shooting people, and you've got a PlayStation 2, I think you owe it to yourself to get a copy of Fugitive Hunter, because Fugitive Hunter is the game where you get to track down Osama bin Laden and punch him in the face.
Wow.
What more do you want in a game? You go to Afghanistan, you drop in the hills, you kill like 9,000 terrorists, you find him sitting on a carpet in the middle of a cave, he gets up, you set your gun down, you go into fisticuffs, you punch him, bam, 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 you knock him out, and you take him in.
You're like, come on, Osama bin Laden, put up your dukes. And you just go to town.
And he says, Durka, Durka, and you punch him.
I need to play that game.
That game, it's an awful, as far as like how well it's actually coded, but the idea that you actually get to do that makes it worth checking out. And it's also one of those games that most times you can find it for like, at the most, maybe you're going to pay $4.99 for it.
Put up your dukes, Osama.
You might get a $1.99 deal on it. So that's worth checking out. I always like the SOCOM games. You didn't really care for them that much because you hate SEALs because you were a Marine. But I actually like the SOCOM games a lot. If you got a PlayStation 2, you can check those out on there. Those are really good.
There was a real fun game called Sniper Elite, I think. That's just a straight sniping game. That was really fun. It's kind of hard to find, though. It's a little more of a rare game, but that's probably one of the best.
Also, if you've got a PC and you don't really know what to do for PC games, download Steam And then just go into there every like Wednesday. They do midweek madness where they put games on sale, and you can get games for like 99 cents, 49 cents, $2.49, $1.99. Like super cheap games you can pick up for just a couple bucks. And and it's also one of those things where it's like you're paying basically the price of if you were to rent a game from a video store. So you just go ahead and pay it and download it and play it. And if you don't like it, oh well, you're not really out a whole lot of money.
Or you can just go get Guitar Hero, and I'll tell you why. For all you guys, the Guitar Hero. Look, everybody was in the Guitar Hero. Okay, you weren't a real person of gaming unless you were Guitar Hero in it. And I gotta tell you, those games are super cheap right now because nobody wants them. Try that game if you haven't already. I'm sure you have, but in case you haven't.
All right, now here's one for a good debate. PlayStation 2. Would you recommend someone who likes shooters Medal of Honor or Call of Duty?
Ooh. I gotta go. I always prefer Call of Duty. It's such a better story. But Medal of Honor did really well in the early days. So it's kind of hard to say.
It's like, I think if you're more like budget based, like if you're really worried about how much money you have to spend on games, I would go out and pick up the Call of Duties. Or I'm sorry, the Medal of Honors, because the Medal of Honors tend to be cheaper than the Call of Duties on resale. They came out, like he said, a lot early on. They were a bigger, heavy hitter. So they've been out longer, so they're discounted more. So the Medal of Honors are great, but the Call of Duties traditionally have a little more polish to them. They're just a hair better in some cases. They might cost you a little bit more, but it is a little bit better experience.
And I'll just tell you this: the top 5 of games for the PS2, as some sites would say, they give number 1 San Andreas. San Andreas was fun. It is fun. I don't care what you say.
I like Vice City better.
I like San Andreas. Number 2, God of War 2.
God of War 2.
Yeah. Recognized game. Number 3, Metal Gear Solid 3 Substance.
Subsistence?
Yep, the game.
Subtitle?
Shadow of Colossus, which everybody says they loved. I never played it.
It was okay. I didn't like the big boss battles, though. I mean, once you find the Colossus and you're fighting it, it gets a little, I don't know, it just feels repetitive.
And, of course, Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy X.
Or as they say in the streets.
If you've got 100,000 hours of your life that you never want to see again, then go ahead and get Final Fantasy X.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want a game that you can play for a long time? Why do you want a game you're just going to play for a couple days and be like, yep, beat it, sucks?
Well, I wouldn't say sucks.
I do. If I beat a game, I always like, sucks. I don't care how good it is. If I beat it, it sucks.
Because you were good enough.
The games that don't suck are the ones I can't beat, or the ones I have to play forever to beat. That's how I see it. That's just the way I roll.
All right, we'll keep that in mind.
I don't change your world.
Next up, from GB Zaku, here's a question. If the Pop Culture Network got a video game, this includes everyone, even Pixel Steve, who would publish it, design it, and what kind of game would it be? Fighting, RPG, shooter?
It'd be a strategy. Here you go. I'll just tell you right now. It'd be a strategy game. Historical strategy, so I'm thinking Koei. And the whole thesis of the game, or the whole idea of it, is that we're all trying to build our own website to do toy reviews and video game reviews.
Stop.
That's how it's been working. I mean, honestly.
All right.
And that's why I say it's a historical game. So Koei would do that strategy game for us.
All right.
There you go.
If I were to get a game put together, I'd have Double Fine put together a point-and-click adventure. And it would be one of those things where, like, each character like has their own level, has their own play. Like, we got to go to Pixel Dan's house and like steal a toy that we want to play with that he got his hands on that was an exclusive at San Diego or something. Then we got to go to Killen's house and we got to find the box of Legos that he sold online, but he double sold it and doesn't know where the other box is in the basement, and all that kind of fun stuff. That would be our point, and it'd have to be one of those games where it's like, to get in Killen's house, he forgot his key.
That happens.
But the window's open just a crack.
That's never happened.
But the little like burglar thing is up there, so you can't open the window all the way. So now you got to find like a stick, a rubber band, chewing gum, a game wrapper. There's also a nosy neighbor, so you got to find the nudie magazine to distract him.
So far, all that's true.
You got to build the big contraption to get it in there, and then right as you're about to get it open, his girlfriend wakes up and opens the door. Like, it's one of those type, like, humor, point-and-click adventure type games.
She goes, come on in, put some south in your mouth. I'm sorry, I was watching
What?
Master Chef, and they had Paula Deen in it, and she said, "Put some South in your mouth," and for some reason that cracks me up.
Sauce?
No, South.
South.
Put some South in your mouth.
Is that how you get type 2 diabetes? Or you put
so.
South in your mouth?
She put a lot of South in her mouth.
All right, Chaotix12345 says, "Hey, Dirt and Killin', just got one question for you this week. What gaming franchise do you think would benefit from a multiplayer component? With recent experiments of popular franchises like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I thought it would be interesting to think about how multiplayer could be used in other gameplay styles. P.S. I'm pretty sure that the fully customizable 2D fighting game you were thinking of in last week's show is Mugen."
And you are right.
Mugen. What does Mugen stand for?
This game is awesome. I don't know what it's for. But yes, it is. And that is the name.
And people actually built like their own custom arcade cabinets to put a computer in.
That game is
just to put in that
much fun. You should look it online, MUGEN, and see if you can download it from like Pirate Bay or something like that. And you get a whole package. You put it together, and I guarantee you it'll be the funnest you ever had. Time you ever had. What game would we like to see? I always liked the Jungle Strike and Desert Strike games from like the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo days. And I thought if that game was multiplayer and we were fighting to save random GIs in the field to build them up to your own base, that would be a fun game. And we'd all be like Apache trying to chase each other down and shoot Hellfire missiles at each other. Fun.
You know, actually, what I was thinking might actually be a fun experiment is if you take a classic game like Pac-Man and you make it simultaneous 2-player.
Oh, there is.
There is?
There is. There's actually a 4-player version. It's called Pac-Verse. Yes.
No. Okay, I've seen that one, but that one's a little different.
No. It's a cocktail machine. It's 4 players, and you're all trying.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one that you would play with the Game Boys on the GameCube.
I think it might be called Pac-Man Championship, but it's 4 different color Pac-Man.
Okay.
And there's the original Pac-Man board. There's a ghost in the middle, and there's random dots, and then there's the big special dots. And if you eat the dot, your Pac-Man becomes big. And if you're big, you can eat the other Pac-Man. And if the 2 big Pac-Mans come together, they just bounce off each other. And so not only do you have to worry about getting killed by
the ghost,
the ghost, and the other Pac-Man, and it's like whoever last one standing wins. And it's like best out of 5. It's actually a really fun game.
How come that's not?
I saw it at.
widespread?
I was at Dave and Buster's or GameWorks in Chicago. And I saw
see that's
we played. Me and my girl played it for like 2 hours straight. It was fun.
They need to put that on, like mobile devices. So like next time we're sitting somewhere, we both pull it out and play versus each other.
Yeah, it's super fun. And then of course another good idea for a game. How about Road Rash? Remember that game? Yes. Multiplayer Road Rash would be awesome.
So we just be on motorcycles,
just like smacking each other. Yeah, why not?
I could go for that. That'd be awesome. Fun. So yeah, those are some good games to have multiplayer. You know what else would be awesome if they put in a multiplayer component? Would be Mortal Kombat. Because every time I put that game in and I'm playing it, I'm like, this is cool. I'm beating the crap out of people, but it'd be really awesome if there was a second player.
That game is multiplayer.
Who was playing? Huh?
You mean like the original?
Yeah.
Oh, they already make Mortal Kombat for multiplayer.
But every time I play it, it's just me by myself.
Oh, you mean you just need friends to play?
Oh, maybe that's the problem.
Oh, that's a different thing.
All right. Well, our final comment. This one actually comes from Doubler2000, who says, "So, did I miss something? Where's the retro gaming review today?"
Well, it's right here. We're about to do it.
We didn't do it last time because we were pushing the 1 hour mark, so we just decided to call it quits and cut our losses and run. But since you asked so nicely, we're going to talk about Rambo 3 for the Sega Genesis.
Ooh.
Now, you played this game growing up, you said.
Yep.
I never even touched this game until like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So what? Tell me. You said you played this game a lot. You loved this game when you were growing up. You liked it. You liked it.
Here, let me tell you this way. I loved playing games growing up. So I played games all the time, nonstop, every day. That's all I did. I don't think I did anything else. And I do remember playing this game. And basically, it is a side-scrolling game. Kind of like, actually, it's very similar to the Metal Gear game that came out on Nintendo. Metal Gear Solid. I think it was just called Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid. No, Metal Gear.
Metal Gear was the original.
Yeah. And mixed with the Commando. So it's kind of that. You're just a side-scrolling game where you have to get from one point to the other. Random enemies are in the way, and you got maybe one minor obstacle to accomplish, like free this person from a jail or get to this point. And basically fast-paced and move. Get to the end of the board. At the end of the board, you fight the random
like
boss.
helicopter or something, and with a bow and arrow.
Yep, just like
grab your bow and arrow to take on the helicopter
with the explosive, and you shoot the helicopter. And the problem is, you do this pretty much every time you fight the boss in this game.
Now, there are several different versions of the game. If you play this on the Sega Master System, it's like Operation Wolf. It's just like a shooting type thing. Oh. If you play it on like the PC, it's a like straight kind of top-down game that plays differently. So on the Genesis, it actually plays itself out different from the other versions of the game. It's their own, basically like original version of it that has these kind of side, fighters. To me, like one of the things that stood out about it is I forgot how unforgiving a lot of these classic retro games are.
Yeah, there's
because it's like today
they're all patterns. It's basically
well, yeah. I mean, today you play a game and it's like, oh, you get shot and it's like your health meter goes down a little bit. You take shot and you're taking shots and you're shooting the guys back. You're just running out. You're getting riddled with bullets and then you find the health pack and and you're back into it. This game gets pretty punishing after a while. Like if you're not like committed to playing this game, it can get really hard sometimes.
Well, the thing is, when you play these old games, I mean, like we're trained now when we're playing shooting games, in particular, that the artificial intelligence of the computer is going to be not based on a pattern like old time games. So you never know. You gotta be quick and jump a lot and move fast. On these games, it's totally the opposite. There is a set pattern that the computer's following, and if you're slow and pay attention, you can see it instantly, and you can almost like fly through this game. This game in particular, you can completely dodge all the enemies and get to the end with quickness. I think you could beat this game in 10 minutes if you just ran through it.
It does feel...
It's a dodge game, because, your instinct is to stop and shoot all the enemies as you come across them. But in this particular game, if you dodge everybody and just keep moving, you could clear this game quick.
It feels like a shump in a lot of places, where you very easily could be a spaceship with other spaceships instead of it being dudes. The graphics, I really like the graphics on this game. It looked a lot like Akari Warriors, but kind of cleaned up and prettier. A lot more detail. And the Rambo, like the little Rambo running around the screen, looks super awesome. I mean, you play for a few minutes into this, then suddenly you're like, I'm playing Rambo. Like it just clicks with you, like it makes sense. And then like the boss battles, when you get to the end of the level and you're fighting like an Apache helicopter with your bow and arrow, it looks like they almost took movie stills, and made the sprites out of that. So it has a really nice look to it. I really enjoyed it.
And the thing with the boss battles is they can be killed like 2 or 3 shots. You're done. All you have to do is charge your bow up, because there's a meter to charge it, and just boom, boom.
So basically, you're just dodging fire from the guys while you're charging. I think
when they developed this game, they just expected that you're going to want to engage the enemies as you come across them. You're going to want to like take the boss slow and figure a pattern to beat them. But in this particular game, if you want to win, dodge enemies, act like they're not even there, and run past them, and when you get to the boss, shoot fast. Quick and fast. Load them up. Boom, boom, boom. You're done. It's simply that quick on this game.
So there you go. Rambo 3 on the Genesis. So overall, when you go back,
but let me say, there's only like 5 or 6 stages to the game.
Yeah.
They're super repetitive. The first stage is you running through
it's like an
open warfield.
Enemy camp.
You get to the end, and then it cuts to like a scene in which would match the movie. You gotta get this guy out of prison. You're in a little prison area, which is more like an espionage type place where you're trying to get to one of the cells to release the guy you're looking for, and there's a couple of dupe cells, and then you get him out, and then you're going to another battlefield, and then you get to the end of the battlefield, you're to another similar type, there's multiple choices, and you get those out, and then you go to another battlefield, and then the game's over.
Well, okay, let me ask you this, though. Since you played it growing up, when you sat down to play it again, were you feeling like, oh, this is awesome, I'm revisiting this game, or was it like, oh, man, now I remember why I stopped playing this game 20 years ago?
It's different. Oh, it's kind of different, because I guess you're in a different mindset, and because of all the things I played to this point.
Since then, right.
I'm looking at this game going, like, now, I think I just think that, like, when I was younger, I wanted to shoot everything I came across. I wanted to try to, go to every part of the map as I'm moving. And now I realize that I don't have to do that kind of stuff to win. My goal now is just to get to the end. When I was younger, my goal was just to play the game out fully. So now I'm like, I just want to get to the end. So here I am, and then I'm like noticing how terrible the programming was back then, or how simple it was. And then I'm realizing, man, by just watching this, I could see the patterns and the flaws, and I can, like, you know, manipulate the game. And then that allowed me just to flip through this game like really fast and beat it like instantly.
Like, I felt you have to be in the mode to play a retro game. Like, if you're sitting down saying, I'm going to play a bunch of really old games today, then you might be in the right frame of mind to play this. But if you're like, man, I really want to play a game and I want to shoot somebody, this really isn't the game that you're going to pick up and want to play for a long time. Like, there are some pretty terrible games that I'm willing to play for quite a long period of time. This is one of those games where I played it for a while, and I was like, yeah, I pretty much get the idea of this game, and I was kind of done with it. You know? It wasn't really something I felt like I had to own to add to my Genesis collection. It wasn't something like Eternal Champions that I just had to have a copy of. You know, this is kind of just one of those where it's like, okay, played it, and now we're done. Okay, look that way for a second. Alright, now you gotta pick. Pick between if Pop Culture Network got a video game.
Yep.
Multiplayer component or retro gaming review. Pick between those three.
Oh, now?
Yes, yes, now.
Where's the review for paying attention to the show?
All right, so Doubler 2000. Doubler 2000, you are the winner in the Fan Corner contest this week. You get, whoa, Halo Mega Blocks. This is the Covenant drop pod with the Combat Elite. So you get the little Mega Blocks Halo bad guy and the purple drop pod. We will contact you with a PM on the message board. Send us back your address and we'll ship this off to you. And if you're watching this and you think, wow, I'd really like to get a Mega Blocks Halo or some other piece of gaming swag or toy, then you've got to get in on the Fan Corner. Go to jointheforums.com. Find the video game section and there's a thread called Video Game Losers Fan Corner. Post your question or comment there. Every week we will choose a winner like Doubler 2000 who will get one of these nifty prizes. So keep asking the questions and keep coming back to jointheforums.com. Also, if you want to buy a copy of Rambo 3 on the Sega Genesis, you can get one at shoppcn.com, the official store of the Pop Culture Network. And finally, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail, you can do so by calling our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025. And that will count as Fan Corner.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can call and leave a voicemail, and we can play your message and respond to it, but keep it short. You know, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that. Some of these 2.5 minute, 3.5 minute messages that we're getting, we might edit them and use them in some shorter capacity, but they're never going to be played to their full potential. So keep that in mind as you write your script for the question you're going to ask on the voicemail.
Yeah.
So Doubler 2000 will be contacting you shortly. Anything else you want to add to the show, my fine sir co-host, before we wrap things up tonight?
Join the forums. I'm kind of hoping somebody will make like a banner or a button we can use where it's like an old recruitment poster style where it's like join the forums and .com, you know, something like that.
Could they just use the screenshot of you sitting there doing that?
They could, but that would look kind of weird.
Well,
this light is kind of like killing me right now.
You do look kind of weird.
Bacon under the sun.
You know, you look like you haven't been out in the sunlight enough recently. You need to work on your tan.
I'm a vampire. Getting ready for that new Twilight movie.
Are you in Brooklyn?
Vampire in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yes, actually.
Hey, and by the way, Vampire in Brooklyn, still better than Twilight.
Yep.
Yep.
What's that?
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching our videos on the Pop Culture Network. We do hope that you will help support us by visiting shoppcn.com, where you'll find all these amazing toys, comic books, DVDs, video games, random geek goodness, all brought to you at an incredibly great price. Every dollar you spend helps contribute to the Pop Culture Network.